district, who, on the basis of the said oblekiunarish, made by him, and on the basis of the changes expected, according to his calculations in the processes proceeding in the atmosphere, flowing in their turn from the action of the other planets of their solar system, indicated just what he had to do to his planetary body, at which definite periods of the Crentonalnian movements of their planet, as for instance in which direction to lie, how to breathe, what movements preferably to make, with which types to avoid relations, and many things of the same kind. In addition to all this, they assigned to the beings at the 7th year of their existence, likewise on the basis of these oblekiunarishes, corresponding mates of the opposite sex for the purpose of fulfilling one of the chief being duties, that is, continuation of the race. Or, as your favorites would say, they assigned them husbands and wives. Justice must be done to your favorites of the period when these astrologers existed among them. They then indeed very strictly carried out the indications of these astrologers and made their conjugal unions exclusively only according to their indications. Therefore, at that period, in regard to their conjugal unions, they always corresponded according to the type, just as such pairs correspond everywhere on planets on which Keschatmartnian beings also breed. These ancient terrestrial astrologers made these matches successfully, because even if they were very far from the knowledge of many cosmic trogoauto-egocratic truths, yet they at least already very well knew the laws of the influence of different planets of their solar system on the beings breeding on their own planet. Namely, the influence of these planets on a being at the moment of his conception, for further formation as well as for his complete acquisition of the being of a responsible being. Having, thanks to the information transmitted to them from generation to generation, a many-centuried practical knowledge, they already knew which types of the passive sex can correspond to which of the active sex. And owing to all this, the pairs matched according to their indications almost turned out to be corresponding and not as it proceeds there at the present time. And that is to say, they are now united in conjugal pairs who nearly always do not correspond in type, in consequence of which, during the continuation of the entire existence of these couples there, about half of their, as they say, inner life is spent only on what our esteemed Mullah Nasr ad-Din expresses in one of his sayings by the following words: "What a good husband he is, or what a good wife she is, whose whole inner world is not busy with the constant nagging of the other half." In any case, my boy, if these astrologers had continued to exist there, then surely, thanks to their further practicing, the existence of the beings of this unfortunate planet would by now have gradually become such that their family relations would at least have been a little like the existence of similar beings on other planets of our great universe. But all this, which was beneficently established in the process of their existence, they have also sent, like all their other good attainments, without even having had time to make use of it, to the gluttonous swine of our respected Mullah Nasr ad-Din. And these astrologers of theirs, as usually happens there, also at first began gradually to shrink, and then entirely, as is said, vanished. After the total abolition among them of the duties of these astrologers, other professionals in the same sphere appeared in their place, but this time from among the learned beings of new formation, who also, began to observe and study, as it were, the results issuing from various large cosmic concentrations, and their influence on the existence of the beings of their planet. But as the ordinary beings around these professionals soon noticed that their observations and studies consisted merely in inventing names for various remote suns and planets meaning nothing to them, existing in milliards in the universe, and in measuring, as it were, by a method known to them alone, and which constituted their professional secret, the distance between the cosmic points seen from their planets through their child's toys called by them telescopes. They began to call them, as I've already told you, astronomers. Now, my boy, that we have spoken also about these contemporary ultra-fantasists from among your favorites, we might as well, again imitating the form of mentation and the verbal expression of our dear teacher Mullah Nazarateen, also illuminatingly enlighten you about their significance, so esteemed by your favorites. First of all, you should know about that ordinary cosmic something actualized by these same terrestrial types, which is in general always actualized of itself for every cosmic unit, and which serves for beings with objective reason as what is called an issuing source for pondering about the explanation of the sense and meaning of any given cosmic result. This same something, which serves as an issuing source for discovering the significance of these terrestrial contemporary types, is a wiseacring map named by them themselves, of course unconsciously, the Map Inventory of the Heavenly Spaces. There is no need for us to draw any other logical conclusion from this issuing source specially actualized for them. It will be sufficient merely to say that the name itself of this map of theirs shows that the designations made on it cannot in any way be other than entirely relative, because with the possibilities at their disposal, though they break their esteemed heads over devising names and calculating various kinds of measurements, they can see from the surface of their planet only those suns and planets which to their good fortune do not very quickly change the course of their falling in relation to their own planet, and thus give them the possibility during a long period of time, of course long as compared with the brevity of their own existence, to observe them, and as they bombastically express themselves, mark down their positions. In any case, my boy, however worthless the results of the activities of these contemporary representatives of learning among your favorites, please don't be angry with them. If they do not bring any benefit at all to your favorites, they at least do not do them any great harm. After all, they must be occupied with something. It is not for nothing that they wear spectacles of German origin and special smocks sewed in England. Let them be occupied with this. God bless them. Otherwise, like most of the other freaks there who are occupied with, as they say, their higher matters, they will busy themselves out of boredom, leading the struggle of 5 against 1. And it is known to all that the beings who are occupied with these matters always radiate from themselves vibrations very harmful for beings around them, similar to themselves. Well, enough. Leave these contemporary titillators in peace, and let us continue our interrupted, definite theme. In view of the fact, my boy, that this conscious ability expressed in the creation of such a construction unparalleled both before and after this period of which I was